Today on Transforming Life with Pastor Bruce.
That even when you don't know how to pray, you find ways to pray. Even if you're just saying Jehovah, 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 but at least you are praying, because you know you can't survive another day without
transforming life. We are a city on a mountain.
I have a good answer for you. David inquired of the Lord. He did not get his next direction from what was on Facebook or on Instagram or what was popular there and here. Bible says David inquired. May God give you the grace, the wisdom, that whenever drama breaks out, you have a place called a secret place where you will go, lock yourself and inquire from the Lord. Are you here, somebody? And he inquired and he said, shall I pursue? Shall I overtake? And shall I recover? And the Bible says, and the Lord answered him and said, pursue. For you shall surely overtake. And you will do what? Recover all. If I had time, my time is fast spent. One of the points I wanted to share with you also is that on the journey of greatness, you've got to learn how that you are alone, even when you're surrounded with people. Oh, Jesus. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. Because some of you, let me say it right. One of the necessary steps to greatness is isolation. But isolation here, we're not talking about that you can be all alone on an island, deserted, no help. Because contrary to some people who want to get married because they are lonely, you discover that you can be married and still be, Jesus, so you know. So that it is not the cure to have people around you that you have sorted out loneliness. But you've got to learn how to find and be secure in yourself, in isolation, even when you are surrounded. Why is that important? God allows those moments so that you come to the place where you know who you really are. Because some of us don't know who we are, because every time something breaks down or breaks up, we always have a place to run to. We have got something that we use to identify ourselves. And sometimes those places of isolation are there for God to help you, reveal you to you. That in spite of everything that happens, you are still you. That in spite of who has walked out of your life, you can still do this. That nothing adds to you or diminishes you by coming or going. You can still be you. Whether people walk into your life or walk out of your life, you don't change. You are still a child of God. Even whether they fire you or give you a job, it doesn't change who you are in God's books. When you come to the place and season of isolation, it teaches you to understand that things will come, things will go, but you out of character will always remain the same. That you are able to stand in spite of having little or in spite of having more. That having things is not what gives you identity. Having God is what gives you identity. And if you can come to the place where you know who you are, trust me, you become dangerous. Because there's nothing men that they can do to you that will change who you are. If they bless you, you are still you. If they take the blessing, you are still you. If you start a business, it's doing well, you are still you. If the business dies, you still remain. You don't change because of outside environment. Outside environment changes because you impact it with who you are. It is at that place that God allows you for isolation, not for you to get into funny things, but for you to come to the place where you reveal yourself to you. It's at that place that after you have known who you are, you're able to say to a Goliath, Goliath, when nobody was looking, I killed a lion. When nobody was clapping, I killed a bear. When there was no CNN, I was still doing this. Now you think you will change who is this uncircumcised Philistine that insults the armies of God? It is that place of isolation that teaches you who you are. That if people take away, if you like, your business today. I was talking to one man and he was saying, my business is, I said, if people can take away your business today, who started the business? It is still the same you. Everything that you used to birth this has never gone away. In fact, it has only become better because you have even learned from some of the mistakes you made. You can reproduce another. That's why, pastors, if really God has touched you, stop worrying about, no, the church is doing this. You can, if it's in you, you can go and reproduce it. It is that place where you learn who you are and you become unstoppable. That whatever you birthed, whatever you've birthed before, you can birth again with confidence, knowing who you are. Are you here? Let me close. I hope you've learned something. I would not do my job right without saying this last part. And the Bible says, David recovered. Oh. Bible says, and David recovered. Please help me preach your neighbor and say, you'll recover. They didn't get you. Try the neighbor on their side. Preach them like, this on the energy I'm using me when I'm preaching. Tell them you will recover. Listen to me. On the journey of greatness, you must have the big picture in mind. Hey, listen to me. On the journey of greatness, you must have the big picture in mind. Why is that important? It will rectify your attitude on small fights. Because you realize this is, compared to where I'm going, this is a small fight. Are you with me? Compared to what I'm going through, this is small. It says, for we know that our present suffering is working in us a far exceeding greater glory. So whatever we are going through, there's something greater to come. Are you with me? And if you keep your eyes on the big picture, you will not sweat the small stuff. As somebody talked about my shoes. You think this is the only shoe I will own in life. Somebody talked that, I got on a bus. So what? So what? Isn't the bus a car? Does it use fuel like the other? So what? You'll be amazed at what things make people have nervous breakdowns. At is it, what do you call the hair? Is it weave? She's wearing a cheap weave. So what? Can I share something? Pray for me. Do you know that expensive and cheap is simply a mindset? Did you know that? That what we consider expensive and what we consider cheap is just that you can have a suit that will cost you 5,000 kwacha and a suit that will cost you 500 kwacha. At the end of the day, they are just suits. Man. Did you know that if Bill Gates went and bought the 500 kwacha suit and put it on, tomorrow men will want to buy it for 5,000 kwacha? Not because of the quality of the suit, but of who wore it. So what makes something cheap or expensive is you. If you don't know who you are and you wear something, you can make it cheap. If you know who you are, you wear the same thing. Tomorrow it becomes expensive. Are you hearing me? There are some cars that if you drive them, imagine, there was actually one car that became famous because it was an electric car and it was costing all car. And the reason why it became expensive is because of who was buying the car. But if you look at none of them
Transforming life. We are